This is Moose, and this is Moose's go home video. So I wanted to share with you all of Moose's commands. That way you can refer to this video when he comes home. So in this clip, this is Moose's leash walking in the airport. So I just told him this way and started walking along. Now I want him to stay to my left side. If he were to go out in front of me or go behind me, I say and wait for him to correct himself or lure him back to my left side. So I just told him this way. Now he's walking right next to me, jogged along. So he went behind me. So I said, he came back out. And then that's when I give him positive marker words, tell him he's a good boy. So here he went to smell the stairs. So I just told him this way and continued walking just so he knows that he has to focus on me when we're walking. Now we're in this area, so I just told him this way, started walking around. Now I want to continue to tell him he's being a good boy throughout all of this because I want this to be a positive experience. He's never been to the airport before, so I want him to get the experience of being there, the socialization. Here he went out in front of me, so I told him So in this clip, I am showing you Moose's sit stays and down stays in the airport. So here I put him in a sit and then told him stay, no treats during this command. Now I do have another clip of Moose doing sit stays and down stays where I narrate everything, so I won't be narrating too much in this one, but I want to show you how well he did in this public setting. Now he was being a little testy to me, but I wanted to work through that and show you guys how to work through that as well. So being in this public setting, it was very quiet. He wasn't quite sure what I was asking for him and from him. So I wanted to keep it positive, a nice calm experience. So here he was being a good boy. I went up and praised him. And then I took a couple steps away, gave him that release word of okay. And then I am going to put him in a down stay. So I'm going to bring him over here. I'm going to put him into a down. Sometimes it takes a little bit, but he went right into that stay. He popped it back up, so I told him, plopped him back down and told him stay again, and then continued to walk away. And then throughout this, I'm reminding him stay as I'm walking behind things or around things. Here I reminded him stay before I went behind the wall here, and then I came back out reminding him he's a good boy, walk around this way, reminding him stay throughout it, and flashing that open hand, stop sign like hand, to remind him that he's still in that stay. Now I want to be very calm throughout all of this because he's going to reflect my energy, and that's what I want. So here I'm going to go up, praise him, tell him he's being a good boy, and then give him that release word of okay. Here I'm going to put him in a stay again. So he was already sitting, so I just told him stay. Now again, no treats throughout all of this. You want them to build up to that reward to get that at the end. That way they don't think they can break halfway through because you already gave them the reward that they were looking for. So we want to make them work for it in the end. Now I'm going to go up and I'm going to praise him, tell him he's being a good boy, take a step away, and then give him that release word. Calm pets throughout all of this, and then give him that release word of okay. Perfect. Now I'm going to have him go into that down and then tell him stay. And then continue to walk away and walk around the room again. Now Moose was very good on this trip, except for the fact that he was testy a couple times during the downstays, which he will get to in a moment. He was a little confused and wasn't quite sure what I was asking for him. So here is where he got up. I went behind something. So I'm going to bring him over. I'm going to go over, tell him and place him back into that down nice and gently, reminding him stay. Now here he saw me walk around again, so he was a bit confused, so I just told him went to go over and put him in that down, but he ended up going into that down himself because he knew what he did wrong, which is what we want. We want them to know how to follow through, which he does know how to, but he, like I said before, he was being a little testy, which is perfectly fine. I want him to work through those as well as us together work through those. So here he got up again, so I just told him, went back over and put his legs down, but then again, I was trying to be quick so I could do it, but he laid back down, knowing that he did something wrong, which is, again, perfectly okay, but I want to be able to correct that. So here I'm going to go over, praise him, tell him he's being a good boy, and then I'm going to give him that release word once I take a couple steps away like that. But I want to release him while he's still laying down before he would break again. That way I know that he knows he can follow through like that and still get released. I told him over here, and now I'm just doing some sits and downs just in the airport. Like I said again, in a public setting, it's really nice to focus on these commands. You can't quite see him very well, but I was just making him follow through with that down. There we go. Tell him he's being a good boy. Move to a different section and do some more sits and downs. Now, positive marker words throughout all of this and to follow through. So here I did give him some belly rubs as a reward. Just because you ran out of treats doesn't mean you can't train, or if you don't have treats on you, doesn't mean you can't train. So Moose here is food motivated, so treats obviously make him a little more motivated. But Moose also loves praise and cuddles. So instead of giving treats, I was giving him lots of praise, telling him he was a good boy, and he was doing just fine. So in this clip, Moose is just hanging out in the airport, enjoying all the people go by and absorbing all of that in. So this is a great desensitizing experiment and trip for Moose. He just laid there while all the people walked by. Of course, he did want some pets, but because he has a service vest on, I was not allowing any pets because when the service vest is on, they are working. We want them to know that. So I just want to show you how well he was being, just chilling here. Here I called him up to me and gave him some loves because he was loving it. And I want to keep it extra positive, knowing I want him to know that it's okay and he's being good in this environment, and that's what I want. So by keeping it extra positive, no negativity, very calm behavior, Moose was doing just fine throughout this trip. So here we have Moose. This is part of his go home video, and in this video we are going to do his kennel and weight. So I have the treats in my hand. I'm going to have Moose go into the kennel for me. Kennel. Good boy. I'm going to have him wait. Okay. Yes, good boy, Moose. Drop it. Kennel. No, I apologize for the dogs in the background. They're a little jealous. Wait. Okay. Good boy. Good boy. Kennel. It might take a little bit more coaxing to get him in there. Sometimes they think, oh, maybe I don't have to do it, which he does because that's part of the training session. Wait. Okay. Yes, good boy, Moose, good boy. And then lots and lots of praise. Huh, good boy. Just because we want them to have a positive experience, we want them to enjoy doing this. Is it caught in your tooth? Is my braid caught in your tooth? Are you ready? Oh, good kennel. Good kennel, yes. So we're going to pretend that maybe you thought I wanted to go in the kennel, which I did, but he did it on his own, so that's very good. Wait. Okay. I'm going to reward that positive behavior with those positive marker words and the reward. Good boy. Good boy, Moose. Good boy. Yes. Oh, you want belly rubs. You want belly rubs. That's what you want, huh? You want those belly rubs. You ready? Come on. Up, up, up. Good boy. Kennel. Just by keeping it positive, he's starting to already lighten up and be super excited for these treats that he's getting for the reward. Wait. Okay. Yes. Good boy, Moose. Good boy. And you can use the weight for all sorts of different things, not just for the kennel. You can use it going in and out of doorways, in and out of aisles, up and down, or in and out of the car, things like that. Good boy, Moose. In this clip, we are going to be doing Moose's sit stays and down stays. Now, I do have another clip of him doing sit stays and down stays, but I want to do this one a little bit more narrated. Sit. Stay. So a sit stay, you want them to stay in that structured sit and the stay. So the stay is that flat open hand. Now you can do this if you're busy, you can't pay attention, or if you just want to practice. It really comes in handy for multiple different reasons. Now, of course, he can hold up to 5 to 10 minute sit stays and longer. But when you first start out, you want to start in small little increments. That way you guys build the connection, build that bond so he can stay for longer. Now that sit stay is a structured stay, so if they were to lay down, I'd pick him back up and tell him stay again because I don't want him to break that structured command, because sometimes if you leave them in a sit stay long enough, they start to get tired and they're like, oh, I don't have to follow through anymore. I want to lay down. So sometimes they will lay down, but we want them to work through that and be able to hold that sit stay as long as they can. So I'm going to put them right back in that sit stay, because maybe you thought I was calling him over, which I was not. But we want to have him hold that and be able to work through those distractions like that. Good boy. And of course, I can still say those positive marker words throughout the command. I can even go up and pet him, praise him, tell him he's being a good boy, stay, and still have him stay in that sit stay. So I'm going to walk across the room, reminding him to stay. And no treats throughout this command either. You want them to work for that reward at the end, which would be the treat and the reward at the end, because if you give it to them during the command, it might ruin it for them. They might think they already got the reward they were looking for, so they don't want to follow through, which is not what we want. So I'm going to go up, praise him, tell him he's being a good boy. Good boy. Okay. Yes, and that release word is okay with lots and lots of praise. Good boy. Can you do it down for me? Down. I'm going to make him follow through this. Good boy. Stay. And again, no treats when I put him into this, and that stay is the same flat open hand, like a stop sign, stay. And then I can walk around again, I can make some noise if I wanted to. Just all the good distractions to make him follow through with this command. Good boy, Moose. I can give him those positive marker words throughout this command. Just no treats. The positive marker words is kind of like giving them praise from across the room. It helps them follow through and know that they're being good and that Moose is being a good boy. I want him to know that. So I can say, good boy, Moose, good job. Give him those positive marker words to let him know that he's being good. We don't want this to be a negative experience, so we like to keep it as positive as we can. Now he's kind of relaxing down. He's realizing that he's not going to get up until I give him that release word, which is what we want and what we want him to follow through to do. Now, like I said before, he can hold these stays for multiple minutes upon minutes, but when you first start out, you want to start out with small increments, 10 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, things like that. He will probably hold them for you longer, but by starting out in those small increments, it'll be better for his success to know what you're talking about during the command itself. Stay. I'm gonna walk away this way. He's being a good boy. So this is when I can go up and praise him. You can go up and praise him whenever you want throughout it. Good boy. Good boy, Moose. Stay. Now I want to be very gentle and quiet when I go up and praise him, because I don't want to get him all riled up while he's in that command, because he might get confused and think, oh, she's trying to play with me. Now I can get up and play, which is not what we want. So we want to keep that calm behavior and demeanor so they mask that. We want them to stay nice and calm in that down stay. That way, when you go up and praise them, they stay nice and calm, you stay nice and calm. They are more focused on you still, they don't lose focus. And that way, when you give them that stay, they're focused, they know what you're talking about. That way they don't lose it in their mind, because their mind goes pretty quick. And you don't want to lose their focus if you're riling them up, giving them that praise throughout the command. So I'm going to go up and praise him like I did before. So he's being a good boy. Good boy. Okay. Take a couple steps away and then give that release word. Good boy. I don't want him to associate the release with a touch release. So by taking a couple steps away, making him realize that, oh, I'm not being released until I give him that release word, which is always okay. Good boy. He's so snuggly. You're so snuggly. So just by giving him lots and lots of praise, that's kind of his love language, is praise and affection. So by giving him lots and lots of that, he is more apt to follow through with things and connect with you better. Good boy, Moose. Good boy. So in this clip, we are going to be doing Moose's place command. So I'm going to call him over to the place bed. Moose. In place. Okay. Sometimes he thinks this is a little bit of a game, which it is not. It is a command. So it takes a little bit of work to get him right on here, but that's okay. So I'm going to tap it. I can try and give him that treat when he gets on it. So right now I want to work through this. Good boy. So I'm not going to tell him place when he gets on that, even though I did just say it. I didn't have to. Okay. So I want him to keep it extra positive, and I want him to know that going on that bed is not scary. So I'm going to actually work through this with you. That way, sometimes you might have that little bit of the same issue when you start out. So I'm just tossing treats up there. That way he knows it's not a bad place and it's not scary. And now I apologize for the commotion in the back. The dogs are a little jealous when we're working in here. Yes. Give him lots of praise when he's on that bed. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. Yes, you're being a good boy. So I want him to know that that place bed is not any kind of thing to be worried about or be scared about. I want him to have that be a positive place, because you want them to enjoy the place command. You don't want them to be scared of it. So this is something to work through. Guys might have to work through it. That's why I'm keeping it in this video, because you may have to do the same thing. So now we're just gonna pretend like that didn't just happen, and we're gonna see if he'll go on that place bed now. We might have to do a little bit more work with it. In this place. Good. Yes, good place. So I'm going to remind him that he is in that place. Now, place does not have a hand signal. It's just the word place. And they can do whatever on that bed. It's much less structured than that sit, stay, or down, stay. They can do sits, they can lay down, they can roll over. They could do backflips if they really wanted on the place bed, as long as they stay there. Now he can chew a toy or a long-term treat on that place bed if you'd like. But ultimately, they can stay on there. We want them to be content alone on there first. That's why we don't introduce toys or treats here at Lewis Manor. We just want them to be able to be content by themselves on that bed. So I'm going to walk around, make some nice commotion and noise in here. Place, reminding him place throughout it. I'm actually going to go out the door now, reminding him place as I walk out the door. Now, just like that sit, stay, or down stay, I can go up and praise him throughout it, being nice and kind and gentle. Good boy, Moose. Good place. Good boy. Place. Reminding him place as I walk away. Alright. So I'm going to go grab a broom. I'm going to sweep around him. Reminding him place. Making sure he knows not to get off that bed. Good boy. It's really nice to have him work through distractions while he's on this bed. And again, just like that sit, stay, or down stay, when you are starting to do it, small increments, build in small increments. That way he gets used to you doing the command as well as being released by you. Now the release is the same thing for all of our commands. It's always that one word, which I won't say it because I don't want him to release yet. And Moose can stay up on the place for almost 30 minutes now. He's worked up to that point. Of course, when you start, you probably want to start in 30 seconds and then a couple minutes and then add minutes as you go along. But Moose is great during the place. He knows to stay there. You can do whatever you want. Normally I'm filling out their training folders while I am having dogs place. That way they can not be focused on me. They can be content on that bed doing what they want, as well as being able to stay on that bed while I'm not focusing on them. I'm focusing on something else. They know to stay there, not to make noise, but just kind of lay there or sit there and be content while they're on that place. So I'm going to go up and praise him, tell him he's being a good boy. Yes. Okay, take a couple steps away and then give that reward or release word so they know it's not a touch release. Good boy, Moose. Good boy. So I'm going to have to do it again. Place. Come on. So again, maybe he doesn't want to go up there. We're going to work through that. Come on. Moose. Are you finding free treats over there? Are you finding free treats? Hey. Moose. Hi. You want to come up? Okay, ready? So again, we're going to work through this a little bit. And again, I apologize for the dogs in the background. So he's on a trail of some free food he has found. Come here. You want the treat? Okay. Good boy. Good boy. Lots of praise when he comes up here. Good boy. Good boy. Yes. I want him to know that he is not in that command, that he can come off. Come on. I want him to know unless I give him that release word, he can come off the bed. I'll go grab a couple more treats. You're not on place. Good boy. So we're going to try it again. Place. boy. So I just did a quick little 2-second one there. That way he knows that he doesn't always have to stay on for long periods of time. Keeping it extra positive, making sure he doesn't mind going up there. Good boy, Moose. Good boy. By keeping it extra positive. Good boy. Good boy. Giving him lots and lots of positive marker words. You cannot have free treats. Come up. Now sometimes they like to be a little rebellious like this. Can you not eat the food over there? Moose, what are you doing? What are you doing, huh? Did you find breakfast over there? Place. Good place. Providing that he's place. Good boy. So sometimes I want them to be able to correct them themselves, so I just took a step in. He realized, oh, I'm on that place, and not to come off, so he jumped back on, which is good. I like them to be able to correct themselves sometimes. So I'm going to go up and praise him like I did before. Good boy. Okay. Yes, good boy. And then I'll end with a couple sits and downs. I'm going to sit. And again, I apologize for the dogs in the back. They are a little boisterous sometimes. Down. Good boy. Sit. Good. Down. Good boy. And so I'm going to do easy with you for one, because sometimes Moose gets a little chompy with taking the treats out of your hand. So I'm going to tell him easy. Ah. Good boy. Good boy. So that's something we've been working on, is when I tell him easy, I want him to slowly take the treat out of my hand. Come here. Sit. Easy. Good boy. Good boy. Easy. Good boy, Moose. Good boy. But it's something we really like to teach here, because sometimes the dogs get a little crazy when they're taking treats, and we want them to be able to take a step back and realize not to be super rowdy. Down. Good. Easy. Good boy. Good boy, Moose. Good boy. Want to roll over? Yes. Yes. You do that the other way. Roll over. Good boy. Good boy.